1. A host almost made me quit my job. I'm being dramatic, I wouldn't have quit. But I did end up discussing with the manager, and I just wanted to hear some insight from servers outside of my restaurant. Saturday night there's a huge event in my town that brings hundreds of thousands of people, so it was a busy week in general. I work at a Bahama Breeze, so we don't close until midnight. I started my shift at 4. It was going well. Super busy. I was running 4 or 5 tables at a time all night. My guests loved me. It was fun all around. 10:30 rolls around, and the host says, "Hey, I sat you this 4 top, but they're at 403, which is on the other side of the building. Big restaurant." I was fine with it, honestly, and I greeted them no problem. 4 minutes go by, and she set me an 8 top of mostly non-English speakers. Also fine, I had my tables under control. But at this point, the 8 top was going to be a little bit of a pain simply because they refused to order drinks at one time and barely spoke English, so they were awkward. Long story short, it took me over 20 minutes just to get bar drinks out for them. In the meantime, I would have expected, as I've hosted before, so I would have, they shut down my section. But I was wrong. It's 11:15 at this point, and she comes up to me while I'm still stress running drinks and ringing in apps. "Hey, did you see the 3 top in your section?" I lost it. I literally was like, "No, I didn't, because you should have stopped seating me after you saw this table still didn't have drinks." So I took care of the 3 top, and apologized that I'd been running around like a crazy person for a few minutes. They were rude as all get out about it too. The guy modified the ever-loving crap out of our jerk chicken pasta. Getting jerked around by a jerk, I guess. Took me like 10 minutes to take their order. It was a mess. Fast forward. That guy didn't want his pasta because I misunderstood one part of his modifications, and he made me take it off the bill. Fine, whatever. But I'm an overstimulated crier, so I went to the back and just started sobbing at this point. I was stressed, tired, and wanted to go home. I went back up to the 8 top to check on their food, but I couldn't hold it together and I just started bawling at them. It was so embarrassing for me, but they were amazing. "Take your time, girl, you're doing amazing." And they ended up tipping me wonderfully, and overall I had a great night. But that seating bullcrap was atrocious. I hosted for years, and if I had done that to one of my servers at my old restaurant, they would have cursed my butt out. I didn't even do that, I just told her to cut me. I don't care if I'm cut by a manager, I'm cut. Stop. Next night she tried doing it again, almost seems deliberate, with the 6 top on the other side of our deck patio area, and I just told her, nope, not taking them, and she rolled her eyes at me. I'm not going to be walked all over. You go. If that's a normal thing for this restaurant to seat servers like that, it won't be much longer if I have anything to say about it. Seating a server far out of their section should be a rare occurrence. Manager told me she would never have suggested she do that to me, and that the hosts need to have more consideration for us servers, so the talk went well. What do you guys think? Any similar stories, or am I being dramatic? Hellfreezer's note, you are being wonderfully dramatic in the best way, but everything you said is a valid point. Also, as you say, it should be a rare thing to seat you in such an impractical manner. It sounds like they've really not been trained properly. I think if the hosts have a bit of a sit-down with the management and the management explains how they should do their jobs, if that doesn't work, I suggest a cattle prod. 2. So I start taking this table's drink orders, and they place a pretzel as an appetizer. But I get triple sat as I'm talking to them, and I have 7 other tables I'm taking care of. I go to the other tables and take their drink and appetizer orders, and go to the back to get all of the drinks for the tables. I guess the food runner was able to run the pretzel for the ladies' table before I was able to get their drinks, and her husband makes a comment like, "Oh, so we get the appetizer before the drinks then?" The food runner said she isn't their server, but she'll let me know. I get them their drinks and take their orders, and this lady is confusing as hell. She goes, "I want the grilled chicken with the provolone, no mayo, no tomato on the side." I ask her, "The bourbon chicken?" Our only grilled chicken entree on the menu. She yells at me saying, "No, the 815, the name of our chicken sandwich, with provolone, no mayo, no tomato on side." I'm sorry, lady, but if you just say you want grilled chicken, you're going to get the grilled chicken meal, not the grilled chicken sandwich. I'm not a mind reader. I put the order in, and the kitchen asks me, "Hey, the 8.15 already has provolone on it. Did they want extra provolone or just the portion it already comes with?" I assumed that the lady read the menu and it didn't say it came with provolone, so she asked me for it because it didn't come with it, since some of our sandwiches come with cheese and others don't. I then go up to the table and ask her for clarification. "Hey, the 8.15 already comes with provolone. Did you want extra provolone or the portion that it already comes with?" She screams at me, "No, I said no mayo, tomato on the side." Given how big her reaction was and her not answering my question about the provolone, I assumed she was saying no to the provolone, and when I'm being actively screamed at for asking a clarifying question, I'm not going to be asking more. I go back to the kitchen and tell the cooks, "No, she doesn't want cheese on it. She had a very strong reaction when I asked her about it." I'm taking care of my other tables, and the food runner runs their food to the table. The lady gets up from her booth and starts marching up to me and starts yelling at me in front of the entire restaurant. "My sandwich did not come with provolone, and I asked for it." All of my tables stop their conversations, start staring at this lady, and have their jaws dropped. I then tell her, "I'm so sorry about that. I told you the 8.15 already comes with provolone. And then when I asked you if you wanted extra provolone or just the normal amount in it, and you told me no, I want mayo with tomato on the side." She then starts telling me that she never said that and I'm not listening to her and I need to do my job. I told her again how sorry I am for what happened and I will go back to the kitchen and have them get her provolone. She gives me the most passive-aggressive "thanks" I've ever heard and goes back to her booth. All of the other servers are coming up to me asking what the hell just happened, and I myself am in shock of what happened and a little shook up. I then go to the manager to try and see if he can save the situation and calm this lady the hell down. He goes to the table to talk to her and she starts cussing him out, saying, "He doesn't know how to do his effing job. He's not effing listening to me. He needs to get in trouble for this. I don't want him to get fired for this, but something needs to be done about his behavior." Wow. Several lashes with a day old baguette, perhaps. Oh, and she also told my manager that she never got up out of her booth to scream at me in front of the whole restaurant. Luckily, my manager knew that she was a problem based on her being the only one talking out of her entire table, while they were sitting with their heads in their laps, and the other tables next to them are visibly uncomfortable with just her screaming at me. My manager decides to comp 50% of her sandwich to appease her. Gotta have the provolone as well then, so she can stop being angry about it, even though I know this is only rewarding her behavior. This seemed to be the only thing that would calm her down. At the very end, she motions me over to the table and I think she's about to scream at me again. She goes, "Listen, I'm sorry I yelled at you, and that I made you go crazy, but these things need to be done right." Ma'am, I did not go crazy. I had multiple other servers and guests witness how I handled the situation. I stayed calm, tried to meet your confusing requests, and did not indeed go crazy. Stop trying to gaslight me and my manager. They then pay for their tab with all gift cards, and you can't tip with gift cards, so I thought for sure she wasn't going to tip me at all given her temper tantrum. I tell them they're all set and good to go, and I apologize again, don't apologize too much, for their experience tonight. I then hear her yell at her husband, "Leave a cash tip!" A win is a win. They end up tipping $20 on an $85 tab and leave. How the hell are you going to tip 23% after screaming at me, guilt, in front of the entire restaurant and then tip me good? I just feel bad for the rest of the family. You can tell they have to deal with her crap all the time, and they're tired of it, especially all of the gaslighting and confusing demands. If she comes into the restaurant again, I will not be serving her again. I don't care how busy we are. I will get another server to take care of them. I am not having them take up all of my time just for my other tables to sacrifice and be uncomfortable with her. Hellfreezer's note, I think you did the best you could with the situation. Obviously, there was a minor misunderstanding about whether or not she wanted extra provolone or no provolone at all. I really want provolone right now. But her behavior was beyond the pale. So maybe the tip was, her realizing, okay, I've been a dickweed, I should maybe do something nice. Because even the Karen types have brief moments of humanity. They're fleeting, but they happen. However, it was an easily fixed oversight. Just slap a couple of slices of cheese on there, or however it's prepared. Her reaction was quite frankly just silly. I think you did very well considering what you had to deal with. 3. I used to be a waiter. I'm old school, so prefer waiter, waitress instead of server. Anyway, I was a waiter for 10 years. I was good at my job, made good tips, worked my way up to the best fine dining establishments in Dallas, Texas. These days it seems rare to get good service even at good restaurants. Shocker, I know. I still tip well, as most waiters and waitresses do. It's a tough gig, and it's complete bullcrap that to this day, at least in the USA, restaurants only pay their waitstaff $2 an hour. I still find this ridiculously offensive. So for bad service, I'll still tip 15%. I can't help myself. For average service, what I consider average, I'll give 20%. For good service, it's 25 to 30%, sometimes more. I'm definitely not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination, and you have to do an extremely bad job to get a 10% tip from me. But when I go to a restaurant, I factor in the tipping into my going out budget. I wish more people did that. Damn right. But I have 2 huge pet peeves that make me want to stiff a waiter and waitress and give them a 0% tip. I have never done that. I probably never will. 1. Greet me within 2 minutes of me sitting down at your table. Just a simple acknowledgement of my presence would suffice. Yo, sup? But preferably a warm, friendly greeting, asking me for a drink order. This rarely happens. I've been made to wait some really long times before my presence is even acknowledged. My new rule is you get 5 minutes, then I walk. I don't care how hungry I am, and I don't care how busy you are. If you're in the weeds, just come to my table for 10 seconds, smile and say hi and welcome to... I'm so sorry, I'm so busy, I'll be right with you. Just acknowledge that I'm here and willing to give you money. 2. Call it pre-bussing. Call it policing the table. Call it whatever you want, but please, for the love of all that is good and holy in this world, clean up the trash and the detritus off the table. Use straw wrappers, use sugar packets, whatever, and remove used plates, dishes, and utensils. I'm not talking about using a crummer, just remove what is not needed anymore. Nobody seems to do this anymore, and it drives me absolutely bat-crap crazy. At this point, if somebody pre-busses my table, then I'm probably going to give a 30% tip. Sorry for the long rant. Please let me know if I'm being out of line or expecting too much. A simple, hell yeah, or a thumbs up would also be cool. 4. I am burnt the hell out. I started off as a regular cook at KFC, while pursuing a diploma in culinary arts. Every place I've worked has been understaffed and busy as hell. I'm just used to it and accepted it as part of the kitchen because I love this line of work and have the passion for it. I worked my way up studying full-time and also working full-time in kitchens, and currently I am chef de partie overseeing breakfast operations at a hotel. I thought I was strong, tough, and relentless until the current kitchen I'm in broke me. The toxic top management, long hours without even a 30-minute break to rest, understaffed to the damn core. I've been running the breakfast buffet solo for about 3 months now. By solo, I mean no prep cook, no commie, no demi, no kitchen helper. It's a one-man show feeding up to 500-plus guests a day. I do all my prep, I do all the receiving, AM time. And on top of that, I do market list for the breakfast operations as well. How do I do it? I don't know, but I did it and I'm still doing it. I'm burnt out. I lost my passion, lost my drive, and the management is asking for more. I just can't do it anymore, the job that I once loved. I hate it. I don't know anything other than cooking. I tendered my resignation 2 days ago. Damn right. I, for the first time, broke down in front of my executive and said, I have nothing left in me, chef. I'm not the person who I was. I'm just burnt out. I don't have any other jobs in line. I'm just lost for the moment. But I hope I'll figure something out before my savings run out. My sous chef is a complete dick. Bloody lapdog. For 2 years I worked 14+ hours, no breaks or whatever, starting at 2:30 a.m. and ending at around 5 p.m. One time I worked from 2:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and came in at 6 a.m. again the next day. Now tell me, is it worth destroying myself for this? Nope. Is it worth the money? Nope. All I know is I'm digging an early grave for myself and mentally I'm suffering. I need advice. Should I take a month off and return to a different kitchen, or just find something else to do? I don't know anything other than cooking. Cooking is all I know, something I love dearly. For the record, I've done a breakfast buffet, 600+ packs solo. One-man show. Hellfreezer's note. Well, the problem is, you showed these leeches that you could do it all yourself. And so they're fine with that. So they figured, well, they can handle that much, let's pile more on their shoulders, it's not going to cost us any more. And the problem here is definitely them. It should be common sense that running a full kitchen should not be a one-man job. And while kitchens can be hectic, what you were asked to do is unreasonable, and it's not like that everywhere. So if cooking is all you know, find a way to reignite that passion. Maybe you want to look into possibly starting a catering business if that's something you'd be interested in. You would also, of course, have to learn the more business-centric side of it as well as the cooking. Or just try out some other kitchens, see if you can get in there or other places. Don't let them rob you of the passion you once felt. The problem is them, it's not you. 5. My manager told me my paid training videos cannot be paid because of labor costs therein. But also told me to feel free to come in on my days off for watching videos unpaid. I guess my manager meant feel free as in if I'm feeling like not getting paid for the stuff they told me is paid. Ha! They told me how bad and slow their previous cooks were on the line, and asked me to do more quality work but still expect me to close the same time. It's been 5 weeks now. And then I get a bunch of co-workers, they don't deserve to be called cooks, making a mess all around my working area, leaving plates, mess, chips, and bags everywhere, and complain by asking why am I slow closing since the first week, while 90% of the co-workers never stay behind and hit me while I'm cutting or carrying hot stuff. At one point, one of the managers walked into me without saying anything and said, "I'ma beat your..." well, you get the idea. And walked away while I was about to say something in response. Like it's been a year since I stopped working restaurants in New York due to lower spine disc problems, bottom 2, and try to regain my muscle memories and work mindset by working near a hometown small restaurant. Work is freaking easy, but the people have almost no basic cooking knowledge at all, but somehow still think they're better and can talk crap, when they can't decide to use a dry or wet towel for a hot pot full of boiling water. Now I need money. I wanted to go back to cooking because I genuinely do love cooking, even for long hours, but it's always the people giving me a hard time. I just know I'll have a blast if I own a small business where I'm the only person working. Then I will not have issues with those cooks. Recently, I also applied for a factory job because I wanted to try something different from cooking, and got past the interview, and they'll schedule me for actual paid training. So now I'm stuck with 2 options. One, stay in this small restaurant. They're just fast foods other than this place. I live in an area where Walmart is a 25-minute drive from my house, which is way too long. Get $16 an hour. Cook easy food. Keep your body warm for a better restaurant in another state while making money. But you're working with literal cavemen. 2. Get a new industry job at a factory. Never done it, have no skill, and absolutely no clue how this industry works. Get $22 per hour, much bigger company with benefits. But I'm gonna have to start from the bottom in terms of knowledge, and who says I will not meet dumb people as well at this place? What do you think? Almost a decade spent on cooking. Now I just chase money and social comfort. What choice would you make? Any other advice you got for this situation of mine? Feel free to tell your own story if you think it helps. Hellfreezer's note, it really doesn't sound safe for you to continue working at that restaurant if you're being threatened by the so-called manager. and that people are hurting you and trying to make you stumble while you're doing dangerous things? No. You need to not be there. What I would do if I were you is I'd take the factory job, which is paying you more money, back up some cash so you can afford to move to a better location, and when you have that, start applying for jobs a bit further afield so you can get back into the cooking. It'll come back to you pretty quickly. I don't think you need to worry about keeping your muscle memory and everything. That will return to you when you're in that environment, when you're in a more positive environment. I mean, kitchens can be hectic, certainly, but the place you're in right now sounds downright dangerous. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates, episode 271. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by signing up for my Patreon page, which is linked for you in the description. Even $1 a month is super helpful. You'll also find a link there to my merchandise store on Teespring. If you'd like to leave a tip, you can do that by clicking on the heart with a $sign underneath the video. Okay, I'll stop talking about business stuff now. Let's move on to Hellfreezer's question of the day, and today's question is: how much of a staple for you is too little in your home, like in your cupboard? For example, I always need 3 just regular size bags, but regular size bags of rice, because I use a lot of rice. So, yesterday when I saw, my heavens, I'm down to my last bag, I better pick up another 2 when I'm out shopping, which is what I did today, as well as, obviously, other things. I don't just eat rice. And it's kind of similar with things like spaghetti, pasta and such as well, which reminds me I'm actually running low on both of those, so I'll have to resupply soon. I think it's partly because they can be very, very cheap to get. The rice I usually pick up the store brand if it's just regular long grain rice, and obviously I'll pay a bit more for basmati rice because it's very, very yummy. There's a particular brand that I like, but I can't remember the name. Is it Lalia? Is that the name of it? They do a nice extra long grain basmati. Anyway, mine's rice, so let me know what you think in a comment below. And before we go, let's take a look at the answer of the day from a previous video. And this one comes from Spinning Plates 198, and it was, what is, in your opinion, a piece of media that is somewhat overrated? And today's answer comes from, let's see, Nova Brilliant. Not so relevant now. Now, to be fair, this answer was 2 years ago, so perhaps even less relevant now. But Game of Thrones. It was just too violent and intense. Feel the same about Breaking Bad. That's one I never got into. Just couldn't get into it either, and everyone at work was constantly talking about both. I love Tolkien, and my husband got me a framed poster of Middle-earth for Solstice. It's hanging up in my room alongside my Doctor Who Funko Pops and my TARDIS cooler. You have excellent style. It makes a sound when you open it. Thank you very much for your answer, Nova Brilliant. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.